We begin tonight's show remembering presenter, drag queen and legend of British TV comedy, Paul O'Grady, who died unexpectedly last night at the age of 67, a trailblazer for LGBT representation. Paul was a regular on-screen fixture for over 3 decades. Through programmes like The Paul O'Grady Show and For the Love of Dogs, Queen consort Camilla, who worked with him in support of Battersea Dogs and Cats Home, led today's tributes, saying she was deeply saddened and that his warm heart and infectious humour lit up people's lives. Others highlighted his support for LGBT rights, with Sir Elton John saying he brought joy to the world, while writer Russell T Davies called him ferocious in the fight against AIDS and that he made everyone love drag. Paul toured bars and clubs in the 1980s as his drag alter ego Lily Savage before hitting mainstream TV in the 90s. And over the years on his chat show, Sharon was no stranger to his rough around the edges style.
There's too much of and fireworks, and you think, just put these people there, put a camera on, let them sing. We don't want the gymnastics, I don't want the circus parade, I don't want the explosions.
It was Excuse me.
QVC, here I come. All right. Would you agree with Ozzy's description of you? Now, I have to read this now. He says, my wife's a pit bull. She'll jump out of the window and rip your head off if you say something wrong about me or the kids.
That's right.
It's fair. Well, why not? Anyone would, wouldn't he?
I've got your bloody cake! Ozzy! Ozzy! What are you doing here?
Do you know what works brilliantly on television is when people are genuinely friends, and you and Paul clearly were, Ozzy as well. What are your memories of Paul?
Just his huge heart. I mean, everybody, as soon as they met Paul, they were in love with him.
Yeah. I mean, I knew him quite well, and I had a standing bet with him. You know, the love of dogs. He never got through an episode without adopting one of the Battersea strays. He never did. Every time he'd go, I'm not going to adopt dogs in this series. And you'd see him and there'd be some little stray. You can't find a home for it? Oh, I'll have it. Every episode. So I had a bet with him. I said, I will give you £10 for every episode you get through without adopting a dog. And the last time I saw him, it was a couple of years ago, he tried to give me 50 quid because he said not only would he carry on adopting them, he thought he'd get at least 5 more.
You see, I also think that he was just... I mean, I only knew him through... I went on that show a couple of times and did various other things. I didn't know him very well. And there I was in Venice. I'd treated myself with a girlfriend to go to Venice. And we rocked up at this really quite swit-swoo restaurant and we'd kind of booked this table. It was sort of slightly out of the way. And we arrived at the same time, him in his boat, me in my boat. I say me in my boat, it wasn't my boat anyway, whatever. So we arrived. And he said, oh, hi, how are you? He was the one who introduced himself, even though, you know, because I was thinking, oh, God, you know, he's really famous and everything. And we had a chat, and he'd got a really big table. He got a table for loads of friends. It was somebody's party. There were 16 of them or something. And he looked over, and he looked at our little table tucked away, and he went, do you know what? I think I might just come and join you at your table. It looks much better, and I'll have a much nicer time. And I went, it's OK, come and join us any time. He was just lovely. And as you said, point is, massive heart.
But it's been mentioned, though,
about
what he's done with LGBT rights and his personality, the force of personality. You can't underestimate how important that was, how much he moved people's opinions because of his force of personality, because he's so funny, because he was so gregarious and had that incredible empathy with people. That got people over the fact that he was a drag queen and people didn't like drag queens when he first started doing it. It wasn't mainstream. He took it mainstream. And then when he became himself and was, you know, doing all that comedy, he was absolutely in your face about all the stuff that people were really uncomfortable about. But because you loved him, it made the nation really open the door to those conversations. I mean, you know,
he hated doing drag, hated it. Hated being Lily Savage, which is why he quit.